Okay, excuse me. So I'm just going to ditch that text. That is loaded. I did have another little thought. I'm going to take this out of the default just because it hasn't been default before. I can determine that it is when I load that texture, but maybe it'll cause some problem with something else I haven't thought about. Another thing I thought was in in GUI classes. A thing I thought was really I should allow you to set the dash offset here. But I'm kind of just not going to. In fact, I'm kind of reluctant to let you set the dash length here either. But yeah, I suppose. If I'm going to let you set the dash length though, why not just... okay, fine. I'm going to do this as well. Do float equals 0.0. Set dash length to that. Nah, yeah, not just set dash offset to dash offset. It's repeating some work, but I don't really care. Actually, there is a shortcut. Just not use that, because it will be updated by itself at the end of that. So yeah, you do set the dash offset. So now in recursor here, yeah, I could set a different dash offset. Also, in this case, just for the look of it, in GUI here, I will say I will not have filtering. I'll stick that on the end there, and maybe I'll have it next time. Let's have a little look. The GUI is filtered. Possibly this is... anyway, the GUI is filtered. Another thing I've just realised is that for the first time in a long time, this is going to be drawing from a different texture from the rest of the GUI. And I can't control the moment at which this is drawn exactly. It'll depend on the position of that work zone gadget in the tree. Often it'll be lower down than other gadgets you've just clicked on the left, and so it will be rendered first or something? Yeah. So the debugger's on, 4 recurs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, see, it's not much. What if I remove a spot? Well, surely changing texture once. Well, it'd be twice changing texture. But anyway. I suppose a thing I could do is that I could make the other lines... Well, first off, I think I do notice a difference here. Although there is still like a little filtered edge to me. Anyway, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm happy enough with the way it looks. So now I want to draw in the other half, which does bring me on to another little thing here in draw. Is that maybe I want to store more again. That this is kind of ridiculous, but I'll store dash start 2, and this dash start off float equals 0.0. And now when dash length is set, when dash offset oh god. here, it's really in here, dash start off. I should probably just figure all this out inside the bloody functions, shouldn't I? I'm not saving myself. Dash start off equals dash, I've started so I'm going to finish this, dash start plus 0.5, and that can just get figured out at that point. Start and start off for both the things that are needed. Now here, I basically do the same thing again. So I can change this to 3, 4, because it's the same sort of rendering setup. In between here I want to say dash end equals dash start off plus dash span. And this is now just dash start off color 2 color 2 2 2 2 2. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, that's a bit of a guess, but I like guessing and going for it, so let's just see. Did anything I say not make sense? Well, it seemed to make sense anyway. So now I expect a black and white dashed line. I think the dashing is too chunky. I don't think the line needs to be 1.5 thickness or whatever it is. Yeah. And that has worked. The dashing is now black and white. There's a thing I could do, is there? I don't know if I'm going to bother, but I suppose the thing I could do is I could have the line, the dashed line function return what the next offset should be. That would be interesting. You'd see the whole line. I'm going to have to do that, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what would happen. I think it would just work, yeah, that the whole line would draw. Ooh, no, maybe not. Well, yeah, because it's like the whole line's getting drawn in order every time. Anyway, I'm very pleased with the way that looks. And the line is now just right there. It's so obvious. The next thing will be to make the things like these paths equally obvious. I guess I will have to toy with the line settings, the dashed line settings, to see what I really want them to look like. But on the whole, it's a good start. I actually think that a finer dash on that line would get lost more easily. They still get lost pretty easily, I must admit. But it is much, much better. What could I do now? There are things I need to do to the spots to make them stand out. Unfortunately, I have to basically give them what? I guess I have to give them outlines. Not really, unfortunately. It'll sort of match with this black and white dashing. Is black and white dashing? It feels like a bold thing for the most bold shape, the most overall shape. So I think I will stick black and white. I don't know, yellow and black I also thought. But no, I think white for now. Deprived companies so fast about. Now, I mustn't just sit myself for drawing lines that's not defining. Circles around widgets. I guess I will make a little draw widget function which I can pass a color to. Position, size and color, and at least they'll start to look standard maybe. Or they will look a little bit standard. I'm not going to make them look more complicated. They could maybe have nicer colors. Maybe these could just be a totally bright red. Don't think they're quite completely bright red. But do I want to keep it this thickness? Maybe I do really. And perhaps when I get a hotkey like clicking control or just space to make everything disappear, it'll be much more. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I love the way that looks now. In fact, with the grid off, it's much more attractive in a way. So I suppose there are other things I could do as well. I could give the lines an outline, you know. It's actually quite an easy thing to do. That could just be another sort of flag you set in the line draw thing class, or not even a flag, a float, and if it's larger than 0 then they get a border around them basically. And if you don't, they could get a black border to their left and right. I wouldn't draw it to the ends. It still wouldn't be ideal. Anyway, if I was to draw a black border on them in situations like this where the lines don't go into the back of a spot, then it'll be clear that there's a black border where the line passes over itself. Anyway, I'm wittering about just potential things rather than concentrating on what I need to do next. And that is spot see what just happened. It's gone down to 30 frames a second for some reason. I just don't know why. And now I'm tempted to look at my task manager. No, I'm still just chugging along at sometimes MPEG just doesn't. But anyway, that is pleasing. And this worked fine. This just seemed to work perfect. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 sets of 3 vertices. One moment. Now, back in Recursor. The controls. I draw a circle, Yeah, so the controls and this are slightly different. This just basically does a bit of logic to see what color I should draw these controls. I think I will make I'll make a little function to draw a control. Where on earth will it go? It will go in here. Oops, draw control. And into it you will pass an X, a Y, a radius, and a color, which will be an unsigned int. And it will be generally dosh ff. And the main thing that draw control will do will be this. Transform vector. Yep, so it's gonna, yeah, it's looking at TV, okay. And TR is like, yeah, something. And the radius will refer to the inner radius. It's not really that I'm doing. It's, well, what is it exactly? It's X minus, I wish that would go away, X minus R. Y minus R. Then I guess I'll do R2 and R2. And blind mode will stay alpha. Local R2 float equals R times 2.0. There's another part to this. Ugh, I hate having to do all this. I probably have no choice. I mean, it's a question of how often, like, because what I also want to do is draw a black circle larger than this. Because I have to use these values twice, I think, yeah, it's probably maybe worth figuring it out. But also, really what I need is R outer float equals R times, or R plus 2, and R outer 2 float, which equals R outer times 2. Because I'm going to use all this again anyway. So I'll just figure it all out and hope that that makes some sort of sense. Circle X minus R outer, comma, Y minus R outer, comma, R outer 2, comma, R outer 2, comma, outer 2, comma, G color black AV, comma, blend mode alpha. Right. So, in theory, this takes a colour and just draws a little circle but with a little black outline around it. A little 2 pixel black outline. So now wherever I see a control, I don't want a control, I want, well, wherever I see a circle, I want one of those. And I think that here is an example. Of where I want one. So what is it? Draw control. Yeah, if I could. And it's out VT. This is tedious V0, comma, out VT V1. These are the transformed call. Oh, radius is TR, comma, call. It really is very tedious. And basically again, except this time it's 4 and 5. And here it's draw control TVX. That is maddening. TVY TR color. That's it. TVX TVY. Draw control. Next. Did I figure out a better way of doing this? Anyway. Here as well. Now the corner, this one's a little bit different, but I think I'll go for it anyway. Draw control. Yeah, I just don't get TVX again. Yeah, that's temporary vector x. Not surprised. TVY, comma TR, comma P spot color AV, and this is actually a Y. Phew. I got there. TVX, TVY, TR. Don't tell me these things do not exist. I know they do. And I'm going to put the debugger off again. And just hope for the best. This makes it hard work. My dog's favourite person is in a meeting, and so I have to keep the dog in this room. And the dog misses the dog's favourite person. Not that anything would happen to the dog's benefit, just that it would be with its favourite person. Okay, so what am I expecting? I'm expecting the spots to have neat little black circles around them. And I don't know how much more I'm going to do to the spots. Yeah, there they are. Looking ever so cute. I can play with the colours a bit. Now, the paths. The paths are in danger of getting lost. I mean, I suppose I can always make them thicker The paths, there is a selected path, as you can see. I kind of want there to be more information. It's not very clear, like I could build into the colour of the selected path information about which is the first point and the direction that the path flows in, by making it begin very bright and gradually become less so. I'm actually a lot happier with the spots with a little black outline. I want more cacophony to... I suppose I wonder if, like, there's no distinction path control point because they are a thing, you know. Oh, I won't like that much. Just added a point, but never mind. Even with running, it is not enjoying doing 4 recursions of that. Yeah, and it doesn't. It's not time. Oh, yes, it is. Rather beautiful. And the lines, I can still see the lines. It does take a little bit for my eye to catch them. I wonder if I should just have a go at putting a black outline around them. Or if that's just like real obscene overkill. I'm going to remove. How cute it is. Okay. I am going to do the thing with the paths. The least I'm going to do to the paths is make it that the currently displayed path has the sort of the direction and start information displayed, so to speak, in its color, and it's displayed broader. I think the non-selected path, I feel like the non-selected path can be sort of almost as dark as it is, maybe drawn broader. This is the non-selected one. Maybe drawn broader, and but just as it is, not actually that different. They disappear a bit, but is that a problem? Maybe it is a bit of a problem. Maybe that path is really the thing that helps make sense of those spots. I'll broaden them out. I can give them more sections. I don't think the sections are the most important things about the path. They get more segments as they get more spots. Look at that 45 again. I'm basically just hoping that that is FFmpeg causing my computer serious hardships, because, and I suppose I can always go back and look at this and see that they just 44 megabytes. Yep, it's about 1 second. It's just about normal. There's no sign to me of sort of a memory leak or something that should be making it run slowly. I'm just anxious about that. I'm going to have to do some tests with FFmpeg off. What happens if I open this? It jumps to 60 again. Now I have been in this position before. I have been in this position before. have to watch for this. It's a really tricky thing. I remember it. It started dropping frames in a situation where I thought, I don't think it should be dropping frames. And I opened this file manager and it leapt back to 60 and I thought, what on earth? It's displaying more, much more, many more little bits and pieces. Well, it's a baffling thing. I can only say, what on earth is it that... It's not like nothing really has changed. This is now boosted straight up to being much more than it was before, and still, this is doing 60. Maybe it's coincidence. I will keep my eye on it. Okay, but it's looking cuddly. I like it. And I like the lines not changing their coarseness as they zoom. That's pretty funny, really. Okay. The paths. So far, just over half an hour. Okay, yeah, you don't like that. I can understand that. But now I go like this. And you fight to get back to 60. No, yeah, not quite so. No, it's done it again. That's not so happy. Okay, tests with FFM. This 4, 5 cycles, 4 recursions. I'm pretty would usually do that okay. I can't see how what I've been doing is causing leaks. Yeah, it's a bit happier, sort of. I don't know. I shouldn't take left F before I consider. What needs to happen is the a little bit more bold action and select and a day. I could draw this a little broader as well. Not so keen to draw that broader as it sort of makes it a bit less precise, but then none of this is all that precise, I suppose, with these chunky blobs. And you can always do that. You see that? Really tests it, because that has just massively increased the number of lines it's having to draw. And look, it's still just thinking 60's fine. Okay, I'm not going to get too... I'm not going to get too gloomy about the speed. This reminds me, yeah, maybe it's hitting crunch points because of FFmpeg, but really, basically, it's completely fine. And I mustn't forget that with the grid on, it's harsher for it.